This poor fellow isn't sharp. He's weary and confused. He doesn't care about us, and he probably doesn't know what he's talking about. And you are puzzled.
Let's get this shit synced up, dog. Welcome to I'm Sick of This Place. I finally broke down and did video. Maybe I don't hate myself as much today that I do the other days. We are in a world full of narcissists, and the only way to make yourself feel good is to put yourself out there for them to collect you. You now have my face, government. You've already had my face, government. Everybody knows this. Everybody doesn't care about it, or they don't. I try to tell people things that I tell them that's in written. I write things down. Should I start out with the bad, the good, or the ugly? I started out with the ugly. The new Natalia Grace just came out, and Jesus Christ, man, I had to fast forward. Like, I'm to the point where I believe that Peter Dinklage purposely, like, this is the only role little people, midgets, okay, I'm going to use the term midgets, okay? Because, Harlan Ellison got a letter by a little person, and the little person said, I don't like being called a midget. And Harlan goes, well, I'm 5'5". I'm a little person. You're a midget. Well, I'm 5'6". Shout out to the fucking short kings out there. And by short kings, I do mean the fucking knee-high brigade of fucking dick-swinging geo dudes out there. Natalia Grace, that shit has to be fake. How long can it go on? You've gotten 3 seasons. You stretched it out. You put that fucking one bitch. Why do we need... Are people attention span so goddamn short? You need that fucking Nancy Grace bitch every 20 minutes to tell you what just happened? Do you know what I'm talking about? Why is that a thing? Are you just filling air? Do we not everything is so goddamn bright. Why is everything so damn bright in this thing? I wonder if I'm going to turn these lights off. Maybe that will help some. It did. I don't know how to fucking use goddamn technology. In order for me to do anything, it has to break, and then I try to repair it to the extent that it was. Oh, it might just be the sun reflecting off the beautiful, luscious snow. So I might just be whited out, even more than a whiteout. I'm going to have fucking cornrows soon, and that's going to be wild. Hello, baby B. Baby B's in here. Baby B is the baby boy. So Natalia Grace is fake, and Peter Dinklage took all the roles. Now this is only roles. This fucking goddamn bullshit fake drama that is not real. How long can this... Is there going to be a part 4 or a part 5 or whatever? Because, listen... That bitch, Cynthia, we all know a Cynthia, right? I know a Cynthia. You probably know a Cynthia. It's a fat white bitch and she is a fat white bitch. Is that not a great way to describe her? Are you trying to use correct, nice terms to describe somebody who is taking advantage of a woman? Is she a girl? I don't fucking know. Whatever her age is, are you trying to use nice terms to describe a woman who is letting a child who was a child become paralyzed because her spine is so fucked up? Are we trying to use nice terms for people like that? No. Any rational person would look at these fucking people on there and go, "Oh, those are scumbags. You have 10 kids or however many goddamn kids." And I know there's good people that are out there. Shout out Miss Arnold, that will, not take advantage of kids from what I understand. I mean, the kids are kids, you know what I mean? But this bitch Cynthia reminds me of my oldest sister. Shout out Myra. So I'm just going to say, if you know a Cynthia, that's my oldest sister. I mean, what more do I need to say about fucking Natalia Grace besides watch it, fast forward it. It is. I just hope it ends. I hope there is nothing more. I hope that was a happy ending. Is that who do I have in here? Baby B, is that you? I told you when I'm gonna start doing recordings, you're gonna see fucking cat. Well, I guess not because it's not pointing to the ground. Who else is in here? Oh wait, that's Baby B. Who is that? Is that Milky Way? I don't fucking know. Too many goddamn gray cats in here that all look alike. Listen. Yeah. No, that's Buddy Bongo. Here's a tip for you fucking cat folks out there. If you get them all one color, it's hard to tell how many you have. Especially when they keep dying. Because you let them out as they please. I don't mean I'm killing them. I let them out as they please, and my fucking trinket has been gone for like 3 months now. I think that's enough in Natalia Grace. I mean, what more needs to be said? Everyone's going to be talking about it. God. Why is it so washed out and colored? Fuck it. We're going. See, the thing is, if I fuck with shit so much, nothing's ever going to get done. Nothing's ever going to get done, so I just got to go with it. So this first episode is going to be fucking white it out, you know, ISO 250, whatever the fuck that means. I got these fucking glasses on. So let's talk about Arpanet, the internet, right? So the internet began as Arpanet, a project of the Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA. Does that sound familiar? DARPA. Can you even read that shit? It is so goddamn bright in this son of a bitch. You know what? I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna try something. Green tea. Shout it out. I'm trying to get off caffeine as much as I can. Beautiful, beautiful cup. Beautiful cup. Handcrafted by Stan Sakai. Hey, pussies out there. There's more than just fucking goddamn Marvel and fucking DC. Read fucking...
Look at this stuff. I own it. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Find out. Wouldn't you think I'm the...
Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Why do people have to have just like... This is me, but this is my personality. This is the shit. I got a 1930s goddamn Crazy Cat Ingots fucking goddamn toy. Why? Because I needed something to fill the fucking hole. The figurative hole in me that needs something jammed. Every like 2 weeks I need to buy something to feel good about myself. And sometimes it's a goddamn 1930 toy about a goddamn comic strip nobody gives a fuck about called Crazy Cat Ingots. Guess what?
And it's this Orwellian specter of individual powerlessness, I think, which haunts me more than any other aspect.
Because at the bottom of all our terrified souls, we know that democracy is a dying giant, a sick, dying, decaying political concept writhing in its final pain. Doesn't mean that the United States is finished as a world power. The United States is the richest, the most powerful, the most advanced country in the world, light years ahead of any other country. And I don't mean the communists are going to take over the world, because the communists are deader than we are.
We don't know what's important and what's silly anymore.
It's finished. The idea that this great country is dedicated to the freedom and flourishing of every individual in it.
Iraq is a kind of central oral form of education which threatens the whole educational establishment.
It's going to create a separation, create a Berlin Wall in the family.
If Homer was wiped out by literacy, literacy can be wiped out by rock.
It's going to make my sister become a different kind of person. It's going to make me become a different kind of person. I'll lose my interest in hockey.
We're playing the old story backwards, but you should know what the stakes are.
I predicted all this when I was 10, but he couldn't understand that. He didn't believe me. That's right.
The stakes are civilization and versus tribalism and groupism.
We don't know what we should be concentrating on or what we shouldn't, and there's sort of an information overload.
Private identity versus corporate identity.
But the thing that caught my eye about the title of your book is the deliberate manufacturing of falsehood.
And private responsibility versus the group or tribal mandate.
You mean somebody's deliberately lying to us?
Well, I think the deliberate part is this, that in this century in particular, having actual accomplishment is no longer necessary in order to be a celebrity.
It's the individual that's finished. It's the single, solitary human being that's finished. It's every single one of you out there. Because this is no longer a nation of independent individuals. It's a nation of some 200-odd million transistorized, deodorized, whiter than white, steel-belted bodies, totally unnecessary as human beings.
Okay, so ARPANET. The internet began as ARPANET. Let's see if you can see this any better. That looks a little bit better, huh? That looks a little bit better. The ARPANET. The internet began as ARPANET, a project of the advanced. Also, I love how there's like retarded people on YouTube being like this, like explaining what journaling is and like a diary and like what a notebook. What? It's fucking God. Praise him. Whoever he is, Allah, a female, theys, thems, whatever your version of God, just have something in you. Just have something. Don't be godless. Just have whatever. Just have something. I'm not telling you what to believe in. I'm just saying have something. Because the godless fucking technology people want you to live forever and trapped. I wrote a fucking shitty story ripping off like a 1960s story by Damon Knight. His story is called Shall the Dust Praise Thee? It's like a fucking name from a goddamn little snippet from the Bible or some shit. Okay. This might be why I never did fucking... In 1972, it became DARPA, aka the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Told you it might sound familiar. ARPA was created by President Eisenhower in 1958 to combat Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. Should I read like this or should I just face down? Listen, folks. I do this shit by myself. I ain't got nobody to fucking help me. I ain't paying nobody to help me. I could. I ain't doing it. I don't trust like that. If you give somebody something of yours, you lose your own goddamn touch to it. Mind you, my touch is shit, and I can't really do anything, but it is still my goddamn Midas touch. The first artificial satellite with data broadcasting technology. ARPA has given us... Okay, I am recording. I'm fucking dead over there. Then I'm going to put it together. Hopefully the claps, and then me going back. Big ass bongo. I got this grown ass cat I thought was Ongo, and then I drove 45 minutes to fucking Saginaw to pick up this bastard ass cat. I bet he would laugh like SpongeBob because it's like you just pick him up and he kind of has a hype. He always sounds like he's in the goddamn distress. ARPA has given us GPS, global positioning software, the personal computer, early AI, and weaponized autonomous drone technology. In October of 1962, J.C.R. Licklider, all these fuckers have retarded names like John C. Poindexter from, wasn't that his name? Poindexter from, not In-Q-Tel, from, it might be in here. It might be in here. Who do I got in here now? Oh, Nibbles, are you and Bongo gonna fight? But not on camera, just on sounds? Oh, Nibbles. Oh, Nibbles. Come on up. Come on, Nibbles. You can come up. In October of 1962, John C. Licklider developed the earliest ideas for a global computer network. Before that, John Forbes Nash Jr., in his 1954 paper called Parallel Control, was commissioned by the defense contractor RAND, who also is a contractor today. If you want to look up something neat, Mind you, it's already been passed, but early on in the Russia-Ukraine war, the Rand Corporation had a play-by-play book that we followed. Isn't that nice? It's almost like it was planned, including the destroying of the pipeline. Oh my God. How did they know? How did they know before it happened? Isn't that lovely? It's like they predict the future, or that they are actually in control of some things. Those two things would be the foundation of the internet. The earliest data brokers in war go back to the 19th century in the Napoleonic War. We know this name. The Rothschild family used to carry... It's hard when you're fucking retarded and you're trying to read your written words, and your legislative words aren't that great. The Rothschild family used carrier pigeons and horseback carriers. This allowed the Rothschild-affiliated bankers to place bets on the outcome of the war. Like any tier 1, listen, I consider myself a tier 2 conspiracy guy. There's people at work that I consider them elementary tier 1. You know, they want to talk about some things. They want to talk about some, like me. I consider myself a tier 2 guy. Tier 1 people might have voted for Trump. Guess what? I never voted for a single guy. I wrote in Alice Cooper, bitch. For fucking whomever. Like, I wrote in, like, Alice Cooper, John Brennan. I wrote in fucking tons of goddamn... I wrote in me, myself, personally. As a person, I wrote down me, myself. Hello, Nibbles. In the 1980s, Mark Rich used satellite phones and optical imagery to track and relay oil tanker flows between nations. Louis Bacon's Moore Capital used similar methods to anticipate Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait due to the intelligence sources to gain 86% in oil gains. So it's like I gotta write really... I write big, but I gotta write real small. I have shitty penmanship. So let's just say weaponized financial speculation is why Smedley Butler wrote War is a Racket. Have you ever talked to... have you ever talked to somebody that was supposedly anti-war and this and... but then they've never... They make fun of the... Smedley Butler, that doesn't sound real. And I go, dog, how am I... technically, I guess I would be considered, I went to public school right outside of Flint, Michigan. I never went to college, but I have read books. I have Noam Chomsky, although he is somewhat a puppet because he has to stay in that influence. But yes, I've read, when people are like, the news and the media, man, they put us against each other, man. They propaganda. I'm like, yeah, dude. In the fucking 80s, Noam Chomsky and Howard S. Herman fucking wrote the goddamn book about it. There's also fucking the media as a message. Anyways, the CIA venture firm In-Q-Tel has roots in Klein, Perkins, Caulfield, and Bayers, which helped fund Amazon, AOL, it's one thing for me to write a goddamn word, but then it's the next thing for me to spell it. It's like two extremely difficult steps for somebody with a touch of the tongue-tism, son. I had to go to speech therapy, and I swear to God, I seen that motherfucker clip the whatever that is, the piece of flesh below the tongue holding it together. I swear to God, I seen that shit get clipped by... I think it was Cody Lyon or some shit had a long ass one of them. And we all know Google as well. Oh, CompactQ, COMPAQ. Al Gore and Colin Powell have been partners with KPCB. That stands for Kleins, Perkins, fucking Caulfield, and Bayers. Buddy bongo, bing bong bing, ba ding 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 ding. He's fucking trying to beat his Nibbles attack. You are allowed to whip his ass. Stop him. This is why I don't want to record in here. Because shit goes south real quick. Okay. So Sun Federal had a software called Network File System. This is just like my retarded Spark Notes version of a very long article that, according to it, takes 14 minutes to read. But for me, myself, personally, as a person, it took me like an hour and a half to like read and then kind of write shit down. But I'm like, okay, let's try to break this fucking 6 sentences into like 2, but cherry pick the information. So the largest data Sun Federal had a software called Network File System. By 1991, more than half of all government computers had it, from federal to local. Isn't that nice? The largest data broker, Google, was also funded by Sun Federal in, once again, In-Q-Tel, which I've talked about Google. I've talked about Facebook before, LifeLog. So there was this thing called MDDS project. So that stood for Massive Digital Data Systems, and it was created by the CIA, the NSA, and DARPA to be implemented at places like MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. And there was others. But let's go with the big dogs out here, the big names. The idea was to achieve what the intelligence agency wanted, with private sector doing most of the work. Which, once again, Noam Chomsky has stated that a lot of technology is started in the Pentagon and then given out to colleges and to the private sector once it's been cheap enough for them to make money, while also just being like, hey, remember that we gave you kind of the idea and the patents and the money and the founding? Hey, give us the back doors. Hey, no, there's no good guys. The first briefing for scientists was, I thought we were going to get into birds being fake, because I forgot what I wrote down in here. Bing bong bing ba bing bing ba bongo. Don't knock down the camera or I'm going to fucking put your ass out. The first briefing for scientists was birds of a feather briefing. During that same year of 1995, one of the first MDDS grants was awarded to Stanford, which was already working with the NSF, which is the National Science Foundation. I didn't write that down. And DARPA grants. Who are you? Bing bong bing ba bing bing ba bing bing Bradley. The great goals was to query The grant's goals was to query optimization of very complex scores. So in retard terms and fucking fat gay retard terms, shout out the fucking fat gay retards out there. And I mean that, meaning, look at the fucking, I guess you can't really see shit anymore because that changed the fucking dad meat. Philly comedy fans. With another goal as a digital library on the internet. So the query optimization of very complex queries just means to break down large questions into smaller, easy ones. Does this sound familiar at all? So we're breaking down large, complex questions into smaller ones, and with a digital library. The founders of Google got the grant money. The fucking names are Sergey Brin and Larry Page. MDDS grants has specifically named Google as a result of their research. The development of Google algorithms was carried on a variety of computers, mainly provided by NSF, DARPA, NASA funded Digital Project Library at Stanford. So, we talked about Facebook and PayPal and shit like that, but we're going to touch it up here. PayPal was Peter Thiel and Max Levchin, later with Luke, I don't know if that's supposed to be a U or an O, Novosky, and Ken Howery. Once again, I'm just going to provide the article in the description, dogs. You can fucking look it up. And guess what? You can click on so many other articles on that bitch, and it'll just take you around, and you can learn about so many great things. During that time, they started working with the intelligence community. Thiel came from Stanford. Early on, PayPal operated out of the same building as Google did. So, after Google moved out and got their goddamn fucking tendrils of fucking CIA, NSA, fucking all them bitches, they moved out. and PayPal moved in. And by moving in, they just immediately just started getting in contact, pretty much. The CIA started contacting them, the FBI, fucking all of them. So early on, PayPal operated out of the same building Google did. During that time, they started working with the intelligence community. Max Levichin has stated, "I think the government working with private sector is a great thing. We were working on security and anti-fraud measures at PayPal. We collaborated with every imaginable 3 or 4 letter agency." That's a brief touch up of PayPal. There's so much more. Peter Thiel of PayPal, talked with Alex Karp of Palantir and helped pitch Palantir to In-Q-Tel. Once again, In-Q-Tel is the CIA's little private investor firm where all these horrible things have came from. So making DARPA's total information awareness into a privatized company. Palantir's client list includes CIA. I love how this takes me like an hour and a half to read and write, and it's going to take me like 10 minutes to just blaze through.
We're then herded into becoming a passive audience that TV can deliver in bulk to advertisers for a high price.
We no longer have the tactile interval addiction and gambling mania that's running rampant on the planet today.
Which money, according to May Brussels, was released gradually by our Nazi confreres to build up the post-war Nazi International around Otto Skorzeny until 1973, when $800 million in Adidas Swiss accounts was liquidated, which caused wild swings on the international gold market.
Just turn off the effect of the television mosaic mesh, not the content. You got me?
Yeah.
Now, come on, guys. Will you stop yakking? Take a break. Stand up. Stretch your legs. Let's have a little music.
More than 3,000 civic, municipal, community, and educational facilities for performing arts will have been constructed during this decade.
And still is. The beating heart of our creators.
Complicated things seem simple, and with consultants, produce projects designed to accommodate many types of performances for maximum intensity and high use.
Today's child is growing up absurd because he lives in 2 worlds.
Direct result of American tradition that sees anything urban as automatically standard.
And neither of them inclines him to grow up.
Ratio of audience size to gross auditorium cubic area.
Compartmentalization of occupancy.
Well, I know.
The jewel of the new culture centers.
Where are the new playwrights to use your new, free, open stage?
Within, rigid symmetrical
I tell you, they are in poetry, music, architecture, and all the visual arts, but not in theater. They are on the streets and in bars and cafes, not in your theater.
You're bloody agent, Lou. I'm counting on you to talk some sense into the lunatic. Nobody wants to hear about dying democracy and dehumanization.
As Fred Friendly once put it, TV can make so much money doing its worst, it often cannot afford to do its best.
Superficial public relations methods and how it lacks aware of this superficial public relations methods.
This is the electrical no time, electrical heliotropical enough environment is the actual words.
Learning, the educational process, has long been associated only with the glump.
Even if it isn't. Now you say, how can they make a statement? It's true even if it isn't.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Look, you're starting to get rumbles from the agencies. Another couple of weeks of this and the sponsors will be bailing out. This is a breach of contract, Lou. You better get him off the top of yours, or so help me, I'll pull him off the air. I told him, Lou. I've been telling him every day for a week. I'm sick of telling him. Now you tell him.
Goodbye from us to you.
Anyway, we have a medium which promotes constant discontent, but it promotes a solution to that discontent, which is simply the indulgence.
Palantir's client list includes CIA, FBI, NSA, the Center for Disease Control, Marine Corps, Air Force, Special Operations Command, West Point, and the IRS. Oh, yeah, I'm on the last page as well. That doesn't include Palantir Metropolis. Its financial spinoff, Palantir, runs Wall Street, along with the Pentagon's global surveillance. And guess what? They have your data, they have your keystrokes, they have our faces, they have everything. Now, that doesn't mean that all is lost, meaning, why am I still putting my once again, putting my face out there, because I do believe in this shit, but apparently the only way to get people to listen to you is by fucking video, but then they're also going to be on their goddamn phone. Hey, guess what? You know what's cool? Putting your phone in the bathroom. Just put it in the bathroom. Remember how you used to have like when I was growing up, you'd have books. I remember when Game Boy Advance, PSP. My dad used to have like old fucking like 70s, 80s football fucking blinking games. I used to read soap bottles when I was taking a shit as like a fat 12-year-old. So I'm just saying, replace, your video, the games, the fucking shampoo bottles, the Reader's Digest of the toilet with your phone, because you already do it. So just keep it in there. Like, I don't know. I'm also thinking, and I don't know how long range a walkie-talkie is, but I think it'd be really cool if there's like 100-mile radius walkie-talkies and just carry that shit around, and just give the walkie-talkies to people that will be there for you. So if you have good standings with your parents or some shit, give them a walkie-talkie. That's what I'm thinking about, at least. So Palantir runs Wall Street along with Pentagon's global surveillance. Facebook is DARPA's lifelog. The 7 largest stocks should be the best example of sort of where the future is heading towards. So we got Meta, Facebook, Alphabet, Google, Amazon. Footnote: Jeff Bezos is a grandson of ARPA founder Lawrence Preston Gise, Gise. Isn't that nice? Microsoft, which isn't it nice how like Trump's like, we're not going to do WHO, the World Health Organization, but Bill Gates can still do whatever the fuck he wants, right? Isn't that nice, conspiracy people? How he goes from one shitty thing to another shitty thing. So it's like, pick your poison. Once again, it's a polling of old guard versus new guard versus who's in, like, there's no winning. There really isn't any winning. It's like 1984 versus fucking A Brave New World. And I've been reading a lot of science fiction short. My feet are currently resting on a box of over 100 fucking science fiction magazines from the 50s to 70s. And my God, the shit that is in there is a great reflection of what is happening today, where it's like, I read one story where best that I can grasp is that whomever, maybe it's a government, maybe it's a corporation, but they made like a radio wave kind of thing to docile and dumb down the population. So in like 20 years, there was not a smart person alive. So there was like 24-year-old grown adult 24-year-olds that were pretending to be babies. But the story was that instead of the people being like they're useless, they just spent their resources on to protect them, even though they're giant babies, because people still loved and cherished their children. And the government or corporate person, whomever it was, goes and they start telling the people, because it's like an offshoot colony on some planet. Like, why was everything going good, but then these last 20 years all the babies are dumb and they are 24-year-old babies. They just coo and cry and we got to change their diapers, but they're grown. They're grown men and women. And what at the end of the story, it is revealed that once again, the corporation or the people in charge purposely did that. But they failed to realize that at the end of the day, people still usually they still love their children. And so they just saved them and their economy slowly dwindled down because they were just having kids and needed to have these giant daycare facilities full of giant children, babies. But once again, it is revealed that the government wanted to do that to make a lower subclass of workers. And the fuck was what was I trying to get to? I don't know. It was just interesting. And the government people are like, we're surprised that you didn't kill all of them because they're useless and they're a bane on their existence. And they're like, but we love them. They're still our children. And yes, people eventually realize that there's no hope, and we stopped procreating, and now we're, adopting and importing children for our working class.
And perception lies in the eye of the beholder.
Its educational and industrial establishments, built by print and methods derived from print, are vast and pervasive. Backward countries now have a huge advantage over us. It must be strung together in a line, bead-like, and in a prescribed order.
So who is to say what's the fact?
No one yet knows definitively.
And frustrate them as much as you can.
If you succeed and achieve your goal with people by whatever means, great. The strategy worked. If not, switch your viewpoint. There are no absolutes. Turn to some different people. Remember that whatever they think is right, even if it isn't.
We now stand in relation to electronic technology much as we once stood in relation to print technology.
Emotionally, they may think they know, but definitively, because the research isn't in, just how many people are whining through commercials.
Its use fostered and encouraged the habit of perceiving all environment in visual and spatial terms. What we plan to do or can do to brainwash ourselves with this obsolete inheritance has yet to be faced, particularly in terms of a space and of a time that our unique thought cut into us and connected. The line, that good old reliable continuum, became the organizing principle of life.
Advanced systems of...
And then there's what the hell was the other story that I just... there's so many stories that are like that where it's like they're purposely fucking up with the kids or trying to make a subclass of human, of working class. Drugs. We're one of the only nations that allow, was it us in like Sweden or some shit, where we are the two countries that drug manufacturers can actually put commercials on the TV. Where was I at? So yeah, we got largest stocks should be Meta, Facebook, Alphabet, Google. It's always great when they change their names. When shit goes bad, you can always change your name and start again. Facebook to Meta, Google to Alphabet. Why do they change their name? Because I'm talking about the Flint water crisis. When that happened, our little version of the EPA changed from something to like Eagle. Something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. But hey, folks out there. Hey, I still think about the people in East Palestine, Ohio. I still think about the people in North Carolina who are sleeping in tents during winter and have to wait 3 hours to hopefully get some propane. Now, what I'm saying is that something horrible is going to happen to you nearby, possibly. And I want you to realize that the government won't help you and the media will stop covering it and the media will say it's all good and hunky-dory. And cunts online will believe it, and cunts won't believe you when you are in the area it has impacted you, and because cunts don't know anything besides being cunts. Can we? I don't know. I said cunts a lot because it's a powerful word. It's still one of those words that like you don't throw often. You can say fuck, bitch, shit, damn, cocksucker. All like you can throw that up, but cunt is still a very harsh word. There's also Microsoft, which Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla. Tech is the new oil. Data is the new gold. Trump has clear ties to PayPal, which, remember, I did a little thing on J.D. Vance and his ties to Peter Thiel. And why that in the Palantir goddamn surveillance state nightmare. Trump has clear ties to PayPal, Tether, Facebook, Palantir, Tesla, and SpaceX. This is why he's all in on AI for the data. Crypto blockchain for the government tokens to issue the debt problem and simultaneously boost surveillance. Free speech and financial freedom is a lie, and everything is a shiny carrot in front of us. Dumb fucking horses. Now, I don't know how long it's been, because I can't tell. 27 minutes? I think that's been plenty of time. And I can't see how long I've been recording on the fucking audio end. So I'm sick of this place. I hope the fucking first goddamn video version isn't a complete catastrophe when I have to put it together and I don't want to fucking shoot myself. Maybe. That was
more data, more truth. All of the data and all of the truth, right?
As more data becomes available, then we can start doing more with it. And as we do more with it, that creates more data. And as more data becomes available, then we can start doing more with it.
Predict.
And as we do more with it, that creates more data.
My algorithmic me.
And
psychological assessment.
And
computational inference.
And
my algorithmic me.
And
who I am.
As more data becomes more data, as we do more with it, we can start doing more with it. That creates more data. Creates more data. As more data becomes more data, as we do more with it, we can start doing more with it. I think we're on the right trajectory that way.
Move the human race forward.
There is so much more information that we have not digitized. So much more information that we're about to take advantage of.
These are real lives that we're capturing. It doesn't get more real than this.
So you subtract out the kitten and start to put together a catalog of everything in the world. More data, more with it, more with it, more data, more data, more with it, more with it, more data, more data, more with it,
unreliable
data, more data, more with it, more data.
The medical essence of a human being.
The data is there. It's my data.
You don't get to see what they have.
Ask me for it, and I will deliver. Me.
Ecosystem that your bedroom has become.
It knows where you are.
The technology, intimately, it has recorded your every move, every nod, your every breath.
And it has an eye.
More data.
The blanket, the technology, invisibly,
how well I've slept,
communicates this information to your healthcare provider when needed. Community of objects. no problem to make the technology disappear.
The algorithm of me is slightly off. It's trivial. It's obvious. Maybe just a little bit. It will happen. It's obvious. It's trivial. Maybe just a little bit. I am going to be in an accident.
People have to trust us.
Maybe just a little bit.
Really unique? Before you know it about yourself.
Maybe just a little bit.
Really unique?
A marketplace that trades exclusively in behavioral futures.
Okay, so who cares? What's the big deal?
Pretty good chance this is a low-risk person. No chance they're going to commit a violent crime. You know, they may do some shoplifting or maybe some drug possession, but chances are they're going to be fine. So here's another individual, certain to be arrested for something.
Having everything.
I am going to be in an accident.
All of the data.
Please, somebody help me! Somebody's looking at me! Somebody's watching me! Help me! Please help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Please!
All of the data.
Help me! Please! Help me!
All of the data.
Somebody's looking at me!
All of the data.
Help me! Please help me!
And that's why I'm saying
Somebody's looking at me! Somebody's watching me! Help me! Please help me!
we just don't have enough data.
Help me! Please!
Maybe just a little bit. I am. Maybe just a little bit.
More data. More data. More data.
Somebody help me!
Maybe just a little bit.
Somebody's watching!
Data.
Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit.
More data.
It doesn't get more real than this.
Release the subject on the double.
But we all think we're unique. And we're not.
Yeah,